We'll call the meeting to order. If we can all rise, take your hats off, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then the invocation afterwards. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Put your hands with me. Lord, thank you for being with us, bringing us here safely, and help us to get home safely. Please be with us and put your hand upon us to do what's best for this organization and be respectful of each other in this meeting so that we can hear what everybody is saying and wants to tell the board and the rest of the people. In your name, amen.
Amen. Okay, so the first... Do what? I have to talk to her. She probably needs to turn it down a little. The first part of business will be filling the open board member position. We actually had 6 people put in for that position. So we'll go down the list. You'll be able to go through your bio, say whatever you want. We'll ask you to come up. And then afterwards, the board will break into executive session. They will make their decision. Because of the names of one of the individuals that have put their name in the hat, I'm actually recusing myself from this vote. So there's some other things, property reasons, and so I'm not going to be involved with that. It'll be left up to these guys. So if we could have Sandy Thompson, she's not here. Jolita. Katie, can you turn that mic on? You don't have to actually, you just turn that on. Yep.
I gotta read everything I wrote.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Just make sure you speak into the mic.
Watch out. Okay, I just said that my name is Jolita Park. I've been a property owner since 1976. My husband Jeff and I have been married for 39 years and together for 45 years. We have 3 sons and 3 grandchildren. Jeff retired in 2023 from St. Luke's Hospital after 35 years. I've always been self-employed, owned my own business for 17 years, and after our 3rd son was born, I sold it to stay home. Then I became a licensed daycare provider for 6 years and worked for Shawnee Mission School Districts for 5. I'm a licensed cosmetologist for 45 years and continue working at my sister's family nursing home. I managed our rental properties for 30 years. I would live at the lake if I could only convince my husband. I enjoy my time at the lake. I don't like seeing trash on the road, so I stop and pick it up. If I see a tree branch hanging over the road, I will stop and cut it. A few years ago, I didn't like the 7 highway entrance, so I worked on cleaning it up. I've mowed the back entrance of Sugar Valley when I didn't like the way it looked. If I see something that I can do, then I will do it myself. I've attended many board meetings and activities at both lakes. I would like to be on the board to see where I can help more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I've been here since 2013. I've pretty much known in my neighborhood because I've been helping out a lot. We do neighborhood watch to keep crime down. We're very much involved being a community. I'd like to make that extended to both lakes, top and bottom. That's about it.
Thank you. Green children.
I'm Reed Childers. My wife and I have owned here since 2018, about 7 years. I'm retired in 2017, and my whole professional career was in the human resources area. I have moved around the country, around the world, and have had leadership positions in all facets of human resources. I've been on the architectural committee for the past 3 years. I've been on the original rules and regulations committee. My wife is on the audit committee. And I just think that with some of my human resources experience, that would benefit the HOA.
Thank you. Dan Bailey, I don't think he's not here, and then Candace Sweet.
Hello, my name is Candace Sweet. I've been a Lake member owner here for about 7 years now. Previously was at Tanglewood for 8 years. Before that, of course, I grew up with my grandparents who lived up at Tanglewood and purchased the place there when they were developed in the 60s. And basically, I'm considered a lake brat. So I love the lake. I currently work for the Veteran Affairs of Leavenworth. And before that, I worked for one of the many prisons in Leavenworth, as well as the district court for the state of Kansas. I've always enjoyed the outdoors. I try to pass it on to my family. So Jason, my awesome husband of 29 years, who puts up with all my shenanigans. The camping thing wasn't for him, so when we decided to do the purchases, he agreed to, as long as it was either a cool place to sleep, that would be the exception. Maybe 1-2 times a year we could do a tent camp. So we had 2 children. Zach's 26, who has a property here. And then, of course, Caleb, 21, who we believe he's going to be purchasing one here soon. We currently have RVs. We plan to build our forever home here. Since we've been members, we've seen many changes of our managers over the years. I said, however, I'd like to continue seeing more of the positive changes. I've been the Recreation Committee for 5 to 7. I've been the publicity for the last 3. I've also volunteered to head up the outdated covenants and bylaws, which I need to repeal. So we're gonna, I'm gonna head up that. This opportunity, of course, it gives us a chance to make this place a better, and I think we can all agree on it that it will. I think, let's see here. I'll tell you right now, I'm horrible with names. I'm good with faces, but I'm horrible with names. Usually I'll get a picture and, hunt it down, screenshot, keep it. I want to help get our community. I think I can bring to the table, I have project management experience. As always, it takes a village to raise a child, and our child being these lake communities, as well as our ever-growing sister communities, which we all need to reach out and help with them as well. I said we can work together and make positive changes, however painful they may be. Just please consider me for the board member for this short term.
So you guys will have to break into executive session. How much time do you guys think you'll need? 15?
15?
15? So we'll need a motion for break executive session for 15 minutes.
I motion we go to executive session for 15 minutes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We are in executive session for 15 minutes. Call back to order. In executive session, I'll just turn it over to Justin to talk.
The board considered all the candidates. We had a lot of very qualified candidates. So the board considered all the candidates, and the decision was made on Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey.
It was Dan Bailey.
Not here.
Not here.
So Dan Bailey will be.
Do we have a bio on him or anything?
We do.
There is.
I can.
You want me to go grab it?
Just so that we have an idea.
Yeah, I can read the bio. It's.
Okay.
You emailed it in what?
I have it printed.
Okay, then go ahead.
Yeah, picture? I don't think we've ever seen one.
So this is Dan Bailey's biography. His education, Bachelor of Science, Geological Engineering, Missouri University of Science and Technology. Engineering Management degree, Missouri University of Science. His employment was Cogent, Director of Engineered Projects. Previous positions was Vice President, President Owner. Civic Volunteering, City Council for Fairway, Kansas, 2018 to present. Missouri University of Science and Technology Board of Trustees, Minor Alumni Association. President, Academy of Mine Metallurgy, Academy of Minor Athletics, Order of the Golden, I'm not even going to... Shillelagh, there you go. Executive Board, Kansas City Cooperative Challenge, Vice President. As an engineer, I try to be as direct as possible, so please let me know if additional information is needed. Our family purchased our property in Sugar Valley from good friends Tim and Pam O'Neill, and have subsequently also purchased other local property. If needed, I would be happy to assist with the board vacancy, as I try to be pragmatic as possible, but I'm also open to all viewpoints. The board should represent the direction of the majority of owners. I pride myself in not having an agenda, but when it comes to civic duty, and have a very thick skin, and I'm not easily offended. At the end of the day, my hope would be leaving Sugar Valley, Hidden Valley better at the end of my time on the board than where it started. I think the accomplished through solid long-term planning and prudent fiscal responsibility. And then he gives his phone number and says he'd be happy to talk with the board. So that was his Dan Bailey's biography.
Sounds like he was applying for a PhD position.
So open board is filled, so now we'll move on. Minutes from the previous meeting. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, if so, I will take a motion to approve said minutes from the previous meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Financial report.
You had a chance to pick up a financial report when you came in. I have looked at all of the comparisons between this year and last year and this year and the budget. Keeping in mind the budget is the total budget for the year, the comparison of the this year, last year is of like times. I've added in the net income at the end. I haven't done that before. So there are 10 categories. We are doing better based on the actual this year to actual last year in 9 of the 10 categories. As far as budget is concerned, and as far as comparison, we're doing 7 to 10 better than last year. In budget, we're doing better in 9 of 10. So that's my report.
The only thing I'd like to point out on the financials is that year-to-date totals for the golf course income, that's about a $9,800 swing in a positive direction year-to-date. So we've gained about $10,000 on the golf course on income. So if that's all for the financial report, manager's report. Tracy?
Okay, the fireworks at Sugar Valley will be held on Friday, July 4th at dark. We will close off the dam at 6:30 so they can get prepared for the show. I would like to thank the members that put this show on. They always do such a great job. We are replacing the picture windows in the main dining room of Sugar Valley Clubhouse. We originally got a quote to have this done. The quote was $6,865. We have since decided to get the windows and install them ourselves, as it's going to save us thousands of dollars. With a little bit of that savings, we will be repainting the outside of the clubhouse. There was a picture over there of the greenish color, which is what we're looking at painting it. We will be looking for volunteers to assist with this project, whether it's helping trim the bushes back so that we can paint the building, if it's installation of the windows, painting, power washing the building, whatever that looks like. I do have a paper over there where volunteers can sign up, so when the time comes we can get a hold of people, or you can reach out to the office and give us your information. I'm excited to announce a new way to stay informed about events and things going on within the association. We now have our Stay in the Loop. There's forms over there that you can fill out, or you can go on our website or our Facebook and sign up. You can sign up to receive either text messages or emails about things going on. You can also choose which lake. If you don't want to get flooded, you can choose Sugar Valley, Hidden Valley specific. You can choose to receive for both lakes, however you want to be contacted, but I do have forms over there, or you can go on our website. Hidden Valley Clubhouse is now serving freshly cut homemade Suzy Q's. They sell them at $5 for a large and $2.50 for a regular size. When I asked would they like me to announce in the meeting, that is the one thing that they gave me.
Samples?
I wish, but they've been selling quite a few of them and they're very proud of them, so have to go over and try their Suzy Q's. Sugar Valley Grill had their health inspection after an unfounded report was made and passed with flying colors. I would like to thank the crew for all their hard work. I would like to say thank you to all those who have volunteered their time and expertise around the association. We have had help in both communities with clubhouse improvements, road improvements, and various other things. We really appreciate the help and advice that has been given, and we encourage all members to get involved. I would also like to remind everyone that it is not appropriate to go to committee members, employee, board members, or any other volunteers' homes or place of employment to address issues. It's also not okay to stop our equipment to harass employees. All communication should go through management during office hours or to the board or management via email.
You good?
Yep.
To add on that, I'm actually going to read this. Association bylaws state that the board of directors shall have the power to adopt and publish rules and regulations governing the use of common properties and facilities and the personal conduct of members and their guests therein. No member or their guest shall use foul language, harass any person, disrupt any activity or meeting, and shall not display boisterous or disruptive activity while on association common properties. Common properties include, but are not limited to, association lakes, swimming beach, swimming pools, golf courses, clubhouses, parks, parking lots, roads, bathhouses, or any other facility or property owned by the development. The board of directors may, at their discretion, suspend the rights of such person for violation of such rules and regulations for a period of 30 days. The general manager or security employees have been authorized by the Board of Directors to demand that any of their guests leave the association common properties for violations of such rules. But members have the right to appeal such removal directly to the Board of Directors at their regularly scheduled Board of Directors meeting. So that's just a reminder for all those that needed it. Old business, covenants and restrictions update. Do you have anything on that? Okay.
Basically, for the covenants and bylaws, I'm still working on the outline, and then of course there's standard verbiage that has to be in there for the state of Kansas. So I'm finalizing on what that is for this year. I will be looking for volunteers for this committee. It's good to have them. I'm even trying to get my son involved because he would be that next generation, you know, and we want the young, we want everybody. Basically, I'm going to try to, I got to work and get the map set up and do it in a grid format. So each grid area is going to have its own representative, and everybody will come to that representative. We'll probably create an email that everything will go to, and then it gets sorted out to that representative that's for that area. And then we're going to do the monthly meetings and go through that. So I'm working, finishing on that. The verbiage is what I need for the state of Kansas. And then, of course, getting that outline and everything, just the plan of action.
Would Joe know any of those that's required?
Yes, he worked on me when we did our at home. It's a pretty standard stuff, but it's getting this final.
See how he wants to handle that. Okay. So we'll leave that on old business.
Yeah.
And we'll table that, and we'll get an update at the next meeting. The next thing on old business is roads. So do you want to start with that, or?
Okay, yeah, I can. So I don't know if you guys have noticed the road grader being out on weekends. We do have one member. I'd like to thank Tom Davis for volunteering his time and expertise on the road grader. We've also are working on a schedule to set up with some of our members that are county road graders. And they're going to be training. So Scott retires at the end of this month, and we are looking at filling that road grader position, and the county employees along with Tom Davis will be assisting with roads and training the new operator. We've also worked with Brian Antrim with Antrim Trucking to get a better gravel price, where he will be hauling the gravel for us. We'll map out where we want it to go each month within our budget parameters, and he will be hauling the gravel and spreading it for us at both locations. We also have some people volunteering, I know, over at Hidden Valley that's been working on cleaning out the ditches and things along that sort. And again, we're always looking for volunteers, so if anybody has that knowledge and would like to help with these projects, where volunteers are always welcome.
At the last board meeting, one of the members who worked for the county said that they were trying to get the county to give us their price with rock instead of what you pay now. Is that happening or not happening?
That can always be an option, but the county they're still straightening that office out with all their changes of positions and who's in that office. So they don't have anything set in stone right now. So currently we're going to use Brian Antrim. Now if that does come up and it gets it for us at even a cheaper price, then that would be the route that we go.
I thought the person said that we would buy it at the county price.
I think they're a ways off from that. Yeah, that's.
Spreading and all that.
I think that's what the thought was, but I think that will probably have to go in the budget, because I think that's, so I think we're a ways from that happening. I think that's more conversation that needs to happen.
On that, why are we gonna pay somebody to haul gravel when we have our own dump truck?
Well, he's getting it for us at a better price than what our gravel is, and he can also haul, what is it, 18 ton compared to our 8, and all the wear and tear on our truck. We just got our truck back up and operating today.
The other thing to consider is if we have a guy driving a dump truck all day, we've taken a guy out of maintenance and put him on a dump truck all day. And so he could be out mowing grass or doing something else, and really the cost is not that much different. So it's less wear and tear on the equipment, about the same cost in the end for the same product.
And he's gonna do Hidden Valley too, your rock over there in Hidden Valley?
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay. We'll, you want to leave that one tabled? I'd say leave it tabled, and we can go on and approach it again next meeting. I have on here executive session. Did you still want to do that? I'm going to say we'll probably go into executive session. Well, go ahead.
Where did you add the other?
Above new business. Oh, no, you're under new business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure he's getting.
Okay. Executive session, 10 minutes for legal advice. So if I could get a motion for that, that would be great.
Should we go into executive session?
Not more than 10 minutes.
Not more than 10 minutes. For,
Where are you getting legal advice from?
Well, it'll be legal. It's legal. Yes. You made a motion to,
not more than 10 minutes for legal.
okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Got a motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
10 minutes, we'll be back. Yeah, we're good.
Go ahead and approve it.
Yeah, I think so. We're back in session. Executive session was just for legal. No action was taken. For new business, we have a quote for road work. This particular road work is the outlet pipe for Sugar Valley Lake down by the compactor area. We've touched base with Anram Trucking. It looks like that to tear out the road. They're going to dig out the creek bed about a foot. Is that what I understood? They dig out the creek bed about a foot, and then they're going to replace the 36-inch tube that's under that road. That with the labor, all of that, the total estimate on that is $8,754. So the board will have to make the decision whether or not we want to spend $8,754 on the tube in the road. So
Do we have it to spend?
well, we have to fix it. I mean, it's washing the road out. What choice do we have? We either pay this or see if somebody can do it cheaper.
But I mean, we have to use our line of credit then?
No, really, no, we're fine with that.
Is there any piece of this that we can take care of ourselves?
36-inch pipe, 40-foot long.
40-foot long, 36-inch pipe. That's a pretty good sized pipe.
No, not the pipe, but
Pretty good size.
Yeah,
job.
just
Skid
so
loader.
36-inch pipe, and that's a 40-foot long piece of pipe. So.
no, I mean like the work that goes into it with the skid loader and stuff.
Do what?
I mean the work that goes into it, like the skid loader and stuff. Is that something we can do?
I don't know that our backhoe thing is big enough.
Big enough to get
No.
down in there. Yeah. That would be our
It wouldn't go
problem,
deep
the
enough.
equipment.
That was my only question.
So if I can get a motion, and then we'll go through the process. We'll have more discussion after that. So
I'll make a motion to go ahead and have the pipe repaired.
okay, do I have a second?
Second?
Okay. Additional conversation. So I think it's going to have to be fixed. I mean, that's one way or another. We have to fix it. The road's washing away. So.
I agree. I think we should.
It was a major scare last year during the flood and all the water coming out of the lake, I'll guarantee you that.
And I think it's washed out close enough to the side of the roads. I think we've had some issues with people getting off too close to the side, and then they end up in it. Yeah, we put some poles up there to keep people, and that's helped, but I mean, essentially it needs to be fixed.
Well, we did have somebody fall into it last year, didn't we, Mark, the white truck?
Yeah, you will.
Okay.
I'd like to see us try to get an additional quote, though, just so we
So-
have something to compare it to.
So do you want to approve this, but
I think-
pending, so you want to
Sure.
approve $9,000, but you want her to go out and get additional quotes?
At least one,
Okay.
so we have something to compare.
Good with that? I guess if what did we put the motion for? Did we even put a dollar amount on that?
No, it was the motion to repair
Of repairing the road? I guess we should probably put a dollar amount on that motion.
Motion to repair,
So you're gonna have to
$9,000.
renege the motion that I told you to put out, and then you'll have to.
All right.
Unmotion.
Yeah, so you'll have to make a motion to remove the following motion.
Motion to remove the prior motion to repair the pipe.
Anybody a second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we can make a motion for the $9,000 to repair the pipe.
Make a motion for $9,000 to repair the pipe
With
with,
an additional.
and at one additional quote, so we have something to compare it by.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, any need for additional discussion? Okay,
I'm gonna decline, because I want to see what this is, what we're doing, where this compares to Hidden Valley's needs as well. Not that I disagree that we need it down here, but I don't have enough time to look at it, research it, know what we're spending money on, that kind of stuff, so.
Okay.
Iverson? Any thoughts? Okay. So I guess we'll vote. So the motion on the table is to repair the dam road with one additional, or to go out and get one additional quote, but we've approved up to $9,000, and then the cheapest quote would be awarded that.
Winner.
So we had a motion, we had a second, so we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Burning the dams.
Yep, the next order of business is the dams, Hidden Valley Lake, Sugar Valley Lake. We currently take a tractor and a brush hog. They scale the side of our dams. I think he sits on the armrest, locks the brake in on one side,
Rides one side
and
of the
slides
brake.
halfway diagonal across the hill as he's mowing. We've just in conversation are curious if there's other avenues instead of putting an employee and equipment at risk to mow our dams. The thought is to burn the grass off twice a year, is what we're thinking. We think that essentially gets rid of employee and equipment. So I guess we'll open that up for conversation.
I'm in agreement that we need something different, whether it's different equipment or burning it. I think you're only going to be able to burn it in the fall when it dies off. Is there somewhere, we have a golf course, is there something that knows more about grass that we can reach out and get advice on how we should care for this?
Yeah.
Do you have some?
They do have the remotes, but funding for those.
Obviously, if we burn it, we're probably going to have to do some spraying and other
Well, the rental will
things.
be on one of them a couple times a year.
So we'll go check on that, see what a rental for those, like track mowers or whatever they call them.
You could always
The
hire it
remote
out to somebody else.
hillside
There's
mowers is what they are.
But when you burn it, are you burning,
We would only burn the non-water side.
right,
Yeah.
but when you burn it, I know farmers burn their fields all the time, but doesn't that burn the roots?
No.
And so then with the roots, isn't that what keeps the dirt?
No, so you're burning you're
Burn the
burning
tops.
foliage only. And then that's why after you burn, you get rid of all the dead foliage, and then when it comes back, it's really lush and green because you've gotten rid of all the old foliage.
It would look awesome.
It would
Yeah,
actually,
they
it would
look
actually
really
seed
good once
out
they green up.
and nitrogen in the soil.
Well, there's that option too.
That's free.
I guess we never thought of that. Goats?
Tracy, don't we have that on a much smaller scale on the golf course, on hole number 7, cutting that? It's a much smaller amount,
Yeah.
but we have to cut that grass too. How do we cut that grass?
In the same way, just with our,
Really? Wow.
Well, you used to have to weigh the tires and stuff.
yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's a,
And I was down this is now.
Well, I think, what are we gonna do for the 4th though? I think the concern will be the fireworks on the dam for the 4th of July. That's, I think the concern is if we can get it knocked down or mowed or something. But maybe if we just mow down as far as they can go.
Yeah, well, currently I know Skylar is planning on being at Hidden Valley this week sometime to do theirs and then bringing the tractor back over here to mow ours.
Honestly, think if you mow it and it dies, it's going to burn better.
So you want to mow
Right
it?
now, it's green.
So you want to mow it once?
I would leave it till after the 4th, is what he said.
That's kind of where I'm going.
You want to leave it?
Can we just
Well, that's what I was thinking.
mow the top
Just
and the
mow
water
the top, mow the top, and then
Maybe the water
get
side
through
and
4th of
top?
July and.
We mow the 3-acre. We
If-
mow it every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I think maintenance
That's-
can
Yeah.
come out of
I
that.
think as high as it is now, if you mow it, you're going to create a fire.
I'd say mow the shoulder as far off the hill or off the road as you can get so the fireworks don't. Leave the grass, don't mow it, and then we'll need a motion to, I guess, to permit burning of the dams.
Just an FYI.
Why don't,
Or do you want to just hold off on this?
let's
Wait,
move
let's-
that
I mean,
to
you
old
might have enough
business.
time now to mow it and then
Let's
burn it.
table it. Why don't you get quotes, look for a hillside mower, get some pricing on those, rentals, whatever you can do on those.
Maybe see if we can find other options.
Make sure the sides of the roads are mowed back as far as they can get, and then we'll.
I think
leave
if
on
we
that.
mowed it
So-
now, we'd have to burn it before the 4th.
Well, I think so, because
Yeah,
it
I
did
think
dry out.
that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That-
gonna
that's
dry
an
out as soon
option.
as we mow it.
That's an option.
It just always looks nice. I just know it's always.
It does look nice.
before the two holidays.
Murray, Mike?
Since you're talking about dams, let's reach out to Pittsburgh State Civil Engineering Department.
Okay.
Those actually fall under civil engineering. Probably get some pretty good free advice on that.
Okay.
Probably there for the summer, but
You want to give them a call? Okay, thank you.
I can find out who Randy Kimley's retired.
Yeah, if you got any information, let us know. Well, most definitely. So we'll table the burning of the dam. Did you have something on burning?
I just wanted to say, just an FYI, I won't be here this 4th of July. Last 4th of July, I went across the dam at midnight and picked up all the trash, and my truck was full of the trash that they left behind, and some of it was still burning. So I had to leave it, go get buckets of water, come back. So just an FYI, they need to clean up better. Mark, get on.
Get a
Yes, ma'am.
tanker out here after we're done? Maybe just spray it down. And then just come by and spray the road down would be great. I mean, if I have to give them lunch or something. You hear what I said on that? Have a tanker come in from the fire department after we're done, have them come in and just spray the road down and,
That'd be great.
yeah, be done if we could do it. And what I said is if we had to give them lunch or something for.
Yeah.
We'll see, you can work on that one too. Okay. The next thing is Mike Murray, for a golf tournament. And you should, yes. Is that one on, Katie?
Yeah.
And you might have to move that one down.
Should I do karaoke?
You could, you want to put you up a song?
Okay, so first, before I talk about golf, I want to say that I think Tyler and Blake and their guys have done a good job helping restore this golf course. I know the golf course, living in Bella Vista, Arkansas for you.
You might want to check that and see if it's on. They can't.
I probably don't talk that loud, but I think they've done a good job.
Talk really close into the mic.
Okay, so we're going to move, the Mount City Historical Society, we're going to move the golf tournament here.
Okay.
So we'd like you guys to really work and try and do that. It does give an opportunity. You're not going to get rich off the thing, but they'll be able to, the association will be able to make a little bit of money off of that, of what we're doing, and contribute back in there. And having said that, one of the things, my granddaughter's manager at Lynn Valley, and she's opened it up for kids golf tournament, and in 2 weeks they've got over 40 kids signed up. They can't even take any more kids. I think that's one thing that probably Sugar Valley could look at and do some things and get some of the high school kids out here to help and promote our community and stuff more. And for those of you that know Brad and Diane Ware that live here, their daughter Megan has cancer, and a lot of golf tournaments have raised a lot of money with what I'm seeing with the golf course. And of course, we've had good weather. That's something that we could kind of do to help the community too. Plus, we bring in some revenue for the community. So I hope the board to kind of look at that, and I still think you need to open it up to more of open play. We're facing a financial crunch. Those kind of things can help. I know there's some rules that have to be, but like Jesse Ventura said when he was governor of Minnesota, rules are made to be broken. So work that out. And again, I know the guys here in the maintenance department kind of get a bad rap, but I think, they have some equipment problems, and us guys in construction, nobody likes fixing problems, but they kind of band-aid things together, and Skylar seems to make, no matter what it is, he seems to make it work. So I do appreciate the maintenance department and stuff like that, and appreciate what the golf course, and I really hope you support the golf tournament. We're going to do it September 16th here, and we hope we can have a good turnout, and we hope we can have a big check for the Historical Society, and also some stuff to really help get us back on the right track financially too.
Wasn't your tournament last weekend, this past weekend?
No, we had to postpone it.
Oh.
I got sick and just, we didn't, to be honest with you, we didn't have enough people on it. I did not, pull off what we did.
We actually,
Decided to do it.
that's part of that. I mean, we can bring that up.
Logistically, and then Wayne, you walked in last weekend, Father's Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
There was some events going on, so it just didn't work out. So, but it's probably worked out better for us too. Having here is, I think our local business will be a little more receptive instead of going to them out there. I think we will be able to give some stuff out to the community, historical society, and for our association. Thank you very much.
Hey, Mike, I do have a couple questions. Mike, I have a couple questions for you. I think it's my understanding that there were some questions regarding what that would actually cost for the tournament for you guys, for the Historical Society. I know I don't have any idea, like what, it's been so long since we've had, tournaments and plays and that. Iverson, do you have any idea what we were doing with tournaments? I think the redneck was by person.
Yeah, well, the redneck is by person, and that generates a lot. I know in the past it was, we charge by person, but if they don't have enough person, it has to reach a minimum of whatever that dollar amount is to close the course. So I guess it's that minimum dollar amount that I'm not sure what it should be.
Yeah, normally on a golf tournament, that you charge by individual. Sometimes you can be a sponsor, and by being a sponsor, you pay a little bit more, but you have a certain number of golfers that can golf in that
But
tournament.
you're going to take care of that. All you're wanting to know is what the actual cost is to the Historical Society.
Yeah, I mean, sometime within the next 10 days, I need to know what you guys can charge.
That would be the Historical Society's fee to close our course.
Right.
Yes.
That way we're going to set the price accordingly. So,
But you already had it set at once, based on Lynn Valley, so.
What was, out of curiosity, what was Lynn Valley doing?
we were charging $100 person, and then we had a 4-man team where we had some mulligans, some raffle tickets and stuff like that. And it was $625 for a 4-man.
But that's what you were charging, right?
That's what we were.
Yeah, what was Lynn Valley charging
He
Historical?
was going to charge me $40 a person.
Okay, that's,
And then we had,
Which is about right.
Which
And I will
is-
say that because if they're not members, that's
that's
what it
about
costs
39, I
to
mean, $40.
Golf 18 holes and rent a cart from me is $38.99 for a non-member.
Thing is, you're gonna have 2 guys in that cart, right?
Yes.
That is still,
Well,
yeah.
what I'm saying, the cart thing is another issue, but that's beyond this conversation.
the card issue's kind of new because if we run out of cards, that means I'll call for Tracy and get with Melanie and we'll lease some cards. And,
So you have your own carts for that tournament?
well, a lot of those guys,
Yeah, almost all the golfers that play here, the senior golfers and all the other golfers have their own carts.
So you will only need minimum carts from the association?
but I mean, we're holding, but we can only have a maximum of,
10.
Of 10 out, so that's what we have.
well, we could actually have 4 carts a hole, so 4 times 9.
Do you remember what
We
your
would put
charge
in
is?
an A and a B.
Right there.
Yeah, you're talking about eight people on a hole, two foursomes on a hole, so you tee off and then the other foursome tees off, yes.
I didn't mention that. One thing we're going to try to do with this one is we'd like to have, we want the course of the day. We're really going to encourage the family to come out and play with your kids and take your time. Just don't take some kids and let them drive on the green. Right.
See, he's talking about 72 golfers on the course, is what he's talking about. Eight on a hole.
Yeah, the question that I had was if your cart usage from the association was minimal, I don't know that the $40 is necessary. Because that's our going rate with cart rental.
With cart.
Yeah, with cart rental. So you would be basically just saying, come play golf at our, there's no benefit to, having a tournament out here because you're paying member rates. You might as well just get your people together and come play golf. You get what I'm saying?
Well, except that the residue is going to affect the historical society. They're going to get the profit.
What I am thinking is we charge $40. We charge $40 for typical public play golf, guest golf. That's what Lynn Valley was going to charge them. I am saying that this $40 for us includes cart rental. If he's not using the cart rentals, on all of them, I'm assuming not everybody's using the cart rental, that we can reduce this amount because they won't have the carts in our.
I see.
So we're saying we still have to recover our loss for closing.
We will, but how many golfers did you say? How many?
If he has 8 on a hole, 2 foursomes on a hole, that's 72 on 9 holes.
If ever it's full, right?
That's 18. That's at 30. That's $2,100 with $30 a head. If that number comes out, I think that'd be worth closing the golf course.
Give him lunch.
Well, I think he's got that worked out.
Yeah, we've got lunch.
Because we've actually talked about that. That's actually been discussions of trying to get, when these tournaments come through, to try and get them to do
Why not 35 still cheaper than Lynn Valley?
purchases.
And it's still $5 more per person.
Well, the thing is this is going to really set what we do. I would say if you're using golf carts, so.
Using golf carts, 35, not using a golf cart, 30.
Maybe we do that. Is that 35 if they have to use the golf carts, 30 if they don't?
Yeah, you guys just have to give us a number. We have to work with them.
So I don't think we need to do anything on that.
And keep in mind, we've been having a Lynn Valley Challenge for a number of years, and the last few years we have been going over there, not playing here, but used to be we would switch courses. So one month we would play at Lynn Valley, 1 month we'd play here, and we're planning on getting that going again. And that includes lunch and the golf in the cart.
Okay. So
It includes lunch and the $40?
No, when we do the Lynn Valley Challenge against Lynn Valley, they ride golfers, we ride golfers, we put them together and we play golf against each other.
yeah, I think you want to get clarification of you're okay with that amount.
Yes. I think the important thing, whenever we do this, do it right the first time.
Well, yes.
So you can look at it as a revenue every year.
Yes. I agree. That's why, I would say that is fine. I think we're fine with that. And then, you can, if there's food and then involved, you can go from there. So that's it. We're going to move on from that. We're not going to take any action on that. That's a Tracy thing. The other thing that's on the agenda that was the definitions, and that was Justin, so we'll turn it over to Justin.
Well, it was mentioned on the architectural committee that there's not a definition of rear of the structure. Rear of the structure dwelling has been a topic on the architectural committee, and It's my understanding it was ruled on by a prior board and defined, but that was not added to the definitions page. So what do I need to do?
So in that case, I was going to look.
We need to clarify what we want that to say. It would be. Dwelling home, all other structures.
I was trying to see if that was in there.
Dave, if we're not ready, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Well, I mean, it's more so it hasn't already been added in. So where this conversation took place is with the fencing regulations. And our fencing regulations had shown that we were, they say that everything has to be to the rear of the dwelling. The problem is when you look at those fencing regulations, that means that your fence has to be behind your house. And the board at that time didn't think that was the interpretation of the covenants and restrictions, that the rear of the dwelling would be anything from the front face, the front of the structure back. The board had made that ruling, and we'd have to go back and look. But, I guess the question I have is if we've already made that ruling, can't we just add it to the definitions?
Does it pertain to garages? Or is that just fencing, or is that just?
I mean, that was, I think, the conversation as a whole of what defined the rear of a structure. So, I mean, we can go back and look, we can table that if we need to, but I personally feel like if we've already had this discussion, we should just add it to the definitions and move on with life. And
Well, I guess the next question is, what was priorly discussed with the board?
the prior discussion was anything from the front wall of the house back was considered the rear of the dwelling.
So, do we want to just add that to the definitions?
That'd be fine.
I mean, if you want to put a motion out to change, I mean, we can do that if then it solidifies that that's what it is. I mean,
I'm gonna need that to be able to add it,
I think we've already done it.
but in not to add
Yeah,
it to the
that's,
definition.
well, to the definition. So let's put a motion to define the rear of a structure to the front wall back is, I guess, what we would.
Rear of the dwelling.
Rear of the front wall. I don't know how you.
That would be like an attached garage, wouldn't it?
Well, the attached garage would be part of the structure.
So,
Yeah, well, so the conversation would be is you have a house, and then you want to put a garage in. Well, the covenant's restriction says it has to be behind the dwelling. So where is the dwelling at, and the garage has to be behind it. So if you were wanting to put a detached garage, right now as it stands, you couldn't go from the front wall of your home. You basically have to be at the back wall of your house if you want. So your garage has to be in the backyard. And you could never put a garage to the side of your house, even if it was set back off the front of the house. The architect committee has defined the rear of the structure as the rear of the entire structure.
Right, I got it.
and we've already ruled that all driveways have to come in off the association
All
roads.
driveways have to. Okay, so we'll need a motion that defines the rear of the dwelling would be equal to or behind the front of the dwelling.
Well, how can it be in the rear if it's equal to?
Well, it'd be, well, you're defining the rear as the back wall of the structure.
Equal to the front, how can it be in the rear if it's equal to the front? That's not the
Brings a
rear.
point.
That's a good point.
You just want to go with behind the front of the dwelling?
Gotta be set back.
Well, it's gonna have to be set back from the front wall, yes.
I agree.
Under fencing.
So you're gonna have to take off equal to. So we'll need a motion that says we're defining the rear of a structure
The front wall.
behind the front wall of the structure.
Wall of the
Anything
dwelling.
behind the front wall of the dwelling.
There's a couple of places in your fencing regulations
Well, and that's,
It's single wall fences, decorative fence or wall more than 30 inches high may be constructed in the front yard, provided it is not constructed on the right side, the street right of way. For purposes of this section, a decorative wall or fence shall be limited to such structures constructed of wood, rail, masonry, different kinds, which are constructed both finished and unfinished. And then fencing and walls should not be constructed within the lake shore of golf course easement. All fences and walls shall be constructed with a finished side facing outward from the property. The post and support beams shall be on the inside or shall be designed an integral part. All fence segments on the street side shall provide 1 gate opening per lot to allow access to the area between the fence and the edge of the street for maintenance and mowing.
yeah, I don't think that's.
We're not talking about fencing.
Yeah, we're not
think-
talking about fencing. Well, we are
think
in a
we're-
sense. I mean, it's
we're more
it's everything
focused
combined,
on-
but I was just thinking that we had.
Because then that would be,
And it was
house,
I think-
where is that line at? You know, is it where your front, your front door to the side and back,
Or adjacent to the front wall.
yeah?
I think it should
I mean,
just be worded as.
Most
I think it's more about the definition of rear of the home,
back,
rear of the dwelling house.
yeah,
Let's do it.
you don't put fences in the front yard.
Article
But we're
3,
defining
Section
what the
1B.
rear is. 'Cause
Right.
right now, we're saying the rear is
It
behind
really
the back
doesn't
wall.
have anything to do with the fence, it's more of definition of rear of the dwelling house.
Yes, but we would have that discussion with fences too, though, because if you, as it stands right now, we're requiring you to take your fence to the back wall of the structure if it's, you get what I'm saying? You couldn't bring a fence up to the front wall of the structure.
I don't think that's what that said.
Even if it's set back
Yeah,
an
except
inch.
in the front, you can have fencing in the front.
You can have fencing all the way around, yeah.
Yes.
As long as
you're
it's
not on the
lower.
easement.
Yes. No, you can even go through the easement, you just take responsibility if it gets tore up,
Yeah.
because somebody has to come through.
It gets torn up.
Why are we talking about this? Is someone-
Well, because the architect committee is having issues defining where the rear of the property, like what is considered the rear of the dwelling. So that's holding up the building.
Well, no,
The-
it's, we've worked through it, but going forward, we
Going
need
forward,
that
we're trying to-
definition.
To streamline that.
It needs to be in writing, I think.
Yes. So a motion that defines the rear of the rear of the dwelling as behind the front wall.
I'll make a motion to define the rear of the dwelling home as behind the front wall of the dwelling.
I second.
Okay, we got a motion, second, any more discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. So we'll get to put in the, okay,
Those are things that we would do in the covenants and bylaws.
that is.
It is.
So the next thing we have is committee reports. Iverson.
I think you have one other thing on here, under Mike, Cindy Spicer Roads.
No, that was changed because it was an old business.
Oh, okay.
Missed it.
Roads was already discussed.
Okay, got it. Got it, okay. Committee reports.
Committee reports. Mike, Iverson.
I have an audit committee report. Tracy, I'm going to start giving you a copy of this. I haven't been doing that. I'm going to give you a copy. And I want to mention that we have lost a couple of members on our audit committee. One of those members, factors that affected her decision was what Tracy had talked about earlier, is people harassing her at business about being on the audit committee. And that is totally uncalled for. If you don't want to have an audit committee, then let that keep up, and you're going to have nobody on the audit committee. Fortunately, we have got a couple new members. One is a CPA, Dan Kuhn, right here. Dan has agreed to take over the committee. He's a CPA. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this in the past, but in my former life, when I was with Water District Number 1 of Johnson County, I was a certified fraud examiner. So I haven't kept up that certification, but I was a certified fraud examiner at that time. We've also got a bookkeeper that's just come on from Hidden Valley, and she ran the books for her husband's business. And I'm telling you, I was so impressed with her. She came in and sat down. I gave her minimal instruction, and she just took off. And so, you know, I think we're in pretty good shape. Your wife is on there. Chris is on there. Her schedule isn't always incompatible with our meetings, but she does a really good job for that too. And I think she's got some background in finance too, if I understand correctly. Yes, see, another CPA. So anyway, we've got a pretty good committee. We meet every 4 months and look over everything, and I want to assure you that we're doing the very best we can to make sure that our organization is running financially well and nothing is hidden or taking place. I've heard some rumors about different things, and as far as we can see, nothing is happening that's causing problems with finances. So with that said, I'd like to read the committee report. We met on June 12th. The committee reviewed the documents and records for the Sugar Valley and Hidden Valley Association listed below for the months of January, February, March, and April. So we meet 3 times a year, and we look at 4 months at a time. Bank statements for the operating account for Farmers and Merchants Bank for the above months, transaction detail for the above months, balance sheets for the above months, profit and loss statements for the above months, the budget for 2025, and the vendor balance detail as of April 2025. All checks, deposits, miscellaneous items were reconciled between the bank statements and the transaction detail. All checks were double signed as required. All voids were matched to the bank statement. All outstanding invoices were matched to the vendor balance detail. The budget information provided to the Audit Committee was for the total year and was reviewed to the comparative statement of income and expense for April 2025 to date and April 2024 to date. Respectfully submitted, Sugar Valley, Hidden Valley Audit Committee.
Awesome.
Thank you. Becky, publicity? You want to come up and get up and microphone?
You want me to do this? Okay, I'll do the publicity committee and the rec committee. So we met on Wednesday evening and we did the Crawfish Boil setup. It's going to be July 5th. Tickets are going to be $17 pre-sale, and then at the door it's going to be $25. It is going to be a fundraiser, and it's going to go toward Hidden Valley's Clubhouse and anything else that they would need over there for the clubhouse. We had called over there and we talked to a few people over there to see kind of what they would like to see over at Hidden Valley. Last year we had it here for the playground. This year the proceeds are going to Hidden Valley. It starts from 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
Last year we served just under 80 people. We didn't deny anybody seconds or thirds. So we have plenty of food. This year we're hoping to do the same. There's also going to be to-go orders. So if anybody wants to go orders, but once you get a to-go order, that's it. You can't come back with seconds after that. Well, I think that's it for the publicity committee. We've made some signs, some new signs as well for the pool over here to make sure the gate gets shut, hopefully. So little ones don't go in there. Some signs for the golf course that'll be getting put up soon. Those kind of things. So we are trying to get some signs made that we feel like it's important to see around the lake. If there's anything you guys see that you might think needs a new sign or anything, let us know. With the rec committee, we had the ice cream social this last weekend. We had a decent turnout. I think there was about 37 people. It was a good time. A lot of kids that came up and got lots of seconds and thirds and fourths and fifths.
Yeah, fifths and sixths.
We did not do the movie because there wasn't enough
Fourth
entrance.
year, nobody. So I'm not gonna continue the movie thing at this point.
No, I think we're gonna try maybe something different or we'll figure out something.
So that was kind of,
Cornhole set has been ordered. Hope to have it here by the 4th of July weekend to enjoy. We'll be needing assistance in regards to setting up the horseshoe area. Our time needed for that is about 2 hours to get the areas built and set up. We're going to need volunteers to help scrape and paint the picnic tables because they're getting pretty bad out, rough shape out here. So it's about that time that we need to start thinking about painting them.
you guys have ideas, you know, maybe we could be festive about it. And make designs on them or something like that.
Spraying the same color.
Poles for the sunshades
We
coming
take 'em
out
out
the
of the
pool,
grass and-
have been,
On those picnic tables, approximate time we need is about 4 hours.
On the picnic tables, we thought if we had the sprayers and everything out here, we could just go spray them down really quick and be done.
We just need somebody to do the sanding and stuff.
yeah, unless somebody wants to design on,
Yeah.
design on them.
So I was just trying to put time approximate. for-
Yeah, approximately about 4 hours, depending on how quick you can paint. Poles for the sunshades around the pool.
Let me stay on that. I talked to Heartland. Heartland is they have poles that are available, but we have to wait until Friday because somebody else is ahead of us. And then once they tell us how many are left, let them have it. And we have to get them from Girard, Kansas. So
And we have to pick them up?
we have to pick them up. So, and I know you and I talked
How
about
tall
that.
are they? How long are they, do you know?
That will also be, I need at least, I think, 16 feet to make what I
You might check on that, because I know I've got a buddy that gets them from gas, and he has to pick up the whole pole.
Okay, and then we
Well,
will,
no,
when
we're
we
gonna
get
pick
the
up the whole
holes,
pole.
we'll need to
He
get
always
the
picks them
holes
up like
done.
40 foot.
Well,
So
that's
we
what I was
can get
wondering,
them
how long
over
is
to
that?
like a
30
large
at least.
Yeah, they're gonna be
auger.
30.
So if anybody knows anybody that can help pick the holes, that'd be great. Donations for the UTV and boat parade can be turned into the office. And you can just keep looking out for more information on that this week. I think that's about it for that, so.
Okay.
Did I miss something?
No, I was just on the price for the crawfish boil. I mean, to me, it just seemed a little high.
The 17?
Yeah.
So,
Last year-
no, that's actually under, that,
You could have-
from what we have seen, they're about $20 and higher for pre-sale, and then you're pushing the $25 mark on that. And that's,
Last year, we were $15 and $20, and I think everybody, I mean, nobody had a problem paying that for what they got, and then with the economy, we are still way underpriced.
that was actually, we broke down what it was, what the current food costs were and all that to get to that price. So that was based off of today's numbers.
Yeah, we sat down and we went through and we tried everything to try and find the cheapest cost to order everything. I mean, we spent probably 2.5 hours doing this.
It was a lot. I talked to all of my reps that I ordered food from to find.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Jamie was
that
here.
17 is, I mean, that's really not, and we're not limiting in any kind of way, so we reserve the right.
Tracy was here, Kenny was on the phone, I mean, we had a group up here, Dave was here, we had a group up here, they're looking at prices and everything else, and this is how we get it.
To a crawfish boil restaurant for Father's Day for.
Is there any for you?
Anybody else have any questions about the crawfish boil?
In March, I went down to Franklin, Kansas for the, historical museum down there, and it was $50 a head.
It was 50?
50 a head.
Well, I think we need to.
And with the crawfish boil, you get your crawfish, you get your shrimp, you get your sausage, your potato, your corn.
Big old plate.
You get coleslaw, you get baked beans, you get hash puppies, I mean, you get stuff with it. It's not just the crawfish
So that,
boil.
you did publicity and rec, right?
Yeah.
Did you write that down, you know? She's just over the rec. Okay. Any other committee reports?
Yeah, I do. Beautification, we're going to look at doing the same kind of sign that we have out here. I'm going to build a sign, yeah. And then for the lake committee, I think I'm the only person on that committee.
For
Hidden
where
Valley,
at?
Hidden Valley.
For the sign.
Oh, out front, like in the east entrance.
At the club?
Mhm.
Oh.
No, the entrance.
No, probably
The entrance.
the entrance,
North?
yeah.
Are we there yet or south? Or
East.
Yale, East Yale entrance. Okay.
Yeah. And then, what are
I
we
know.
doing about our
Well,
drain?
we need something on the north side, but we're not there yet.
If it's locked, somebody lock it.
Huh?
Okay.
What are we doing about the drain at our lake? Because we're still high a little bit.
Hold off until we can flow.
Oh, okay, I was on the late, I'm on the late committee.
Oh,
so-
yeah, then go ahead. No, you're fine then. Yeah, I forgot about that. Go
Skylar's
ahead.
coming over this week.
I forgot
Okay.
that that was over there.
Yeah, Skylar's gonna address it this week.
Okay,
Is he gonna?
all right, thank you, that's it.
Any other committee reports? Okay, we're gonna move on to open forum. 2 minutes or less, member in good standing. I will start off by saying we have a sign-up sheet that we're gonna start putting up at the tables when you come in. If you know you're going to be, you wanna bring up something on open forum, put your name down. The reason for that is when we get to open forum, we're not like, who's ready to talk, and then 18 people raise their hand and you're trying to pick through which one it is. So put your name, so if you know you're gonna be on open forum, if you could put that on there. At the end of the open forum, we'll give everybody that didn't get a chance, we understand questions come up, but everybody after the fact to get a chance to talk if you didn't sign up. So that's just to try and streamline and get people talking and moving. So I don't think anybody signed up except Cindy, so we'll start with.
Yeah, well, I have a couple questions. On
Can
the
you come up
road
here?
graders, oh man, I don't.
Because the problem is the people that listen to the recordings can't hear the questions from the audience.
On road graders, do they have to have CDLs in order to be a road grader?
No.
They don't?
They
Right,
don't.
the maintainer?
No.
That's my question.
No, it's not required for heavy equipment,
It's private property.
and it's private.
That is private property.
Oh, cool, cool. Have you heard any more on, what's the deal with Jimmy John's house? Do you guys, can you say anything about that, or what is going on with that?
You hear anything about Jimmy Jones?
He was an ass when I went by there today.
We've got processes in place, and it is in legal processes, and that's all that I can say.
That's all you can say?
That
Okay.
is all that I can say.
Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. And the roads are looking great. I do want to say that. The roads, the guy being out on the weekends, appreciated. He's doing a good job. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. And is he going to be training any of our guys either?
I think that'll be a. We've made arrangements to have our employees trained by experience
Okay, cool beans.
road grader operators.
Dave? I would like to say that I really appreciate the entrances to the property on K7, the main entrance to the second one. Wow, what a difference. Thank you very much.
It's nice when you're pulling and you're not sliding.
Exactly, or going out and, yes.
Anybody else for open forum? Anybody? Is that it? Jolita? Nobody? Okay. If that's all for open forum, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried, meeting adjourned. Have a safe 4th, everybody.